Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Strength Spotlight session. I am Neelam, and I'm delighted to host this insightful conversation on new age leadership skills for middle level leaders. With the evolving workplace landscape, we are seeing a shift in the way leaders leads to approach management and team dynamics, especially those in the middle management who often bridge the gap between executive strategies and on the ground operation. Joining us today, we have two distinguished speakers, Asha Subramaniam and Abhishek Joshi. Asha is a senior HR leader and currently she is the global CHRO at Subex. With extensive experience across all the facets of HR, starting from HR strategies to performance management, leadership development, and anything that we can think of within HR domain. Asha is passionate about promoting people first, healthy and creative work environment. She has helped organizations achieve their people goal by developing strong people processes. Abhishek is a seasoned Gallup Global Strength Coach and practice head with a rich background in talent management and organizational development. He has established strength-based development as a transformative practice within numerous organizations, ranging from large-scale companies to growth stage organizations. A warm welcome to both of you, and thank you both for joining me in this conversation today.
Thank you, Neelam. Thanks a lot. Good evening, Asha.
Good evening to you both. So let me take the first question to you, Asha. I would love to hear your thoughts on what defines new age leadership and how it differs from traditional leadership styles.
Okay, thanks a lot, Neelam, and welcome Abhishek, and welcome to other viewers also. It's a great opportunity. And coming back to your question, Neelam, right? It's a very tricky question what you are posing, right? So I would probably answer it not exactly giving you a definition of what is a traditional leadership or probably what is the definition of a new age leadership. Probably taking it a little differently, right? For me, both leadership styles bring unique strengths, and combining elements of both can surely, according to me, foster a balanced, high-performing organization. For us, we are aware that future leaders are increasingly seen as coaches rather than bosses, what we used to call previously, right, a decade back. But that is the coaches or the bosses, that is with an emphasis on inspiring or maybe advising and supporting rather than commanding or empowering, and shared leadership, right, are something which are essential approaches to engage teams and drive success today, right? While both type of leadership have their pros and cons, looking at the best of the world, I would say traditional leadership emphasizes stability, continuity, and ethics, while new age leaders focus on purpose-driven work and lot of empowerment, right? Both can align on values like integrity, trust, commitment to the organization, fostering mutual respect and collaboration. Another difference, or a series what I can draw towards this both of the leadership is traditional leadership bring industry experience, and there have been time-tested practices what they have gone through, right? While the new age leader excel in tech skills, open-mindedness, and fresh workplace perspective, there will be a lot of new ideas to it, right? Cross mentorship, especially the reverse mentoring, bridges generational gap and strengthens relationships. Overall, for the question, by embracing a shared vision and openness to change, right? Traditional and new age leaders can combine their strengths, creating an adaptable, cohesive, and sustainable organization that fosters growth, right? So I think this is what I had on my mind while you asked me about a difference between the traditional leaders and the new age leaders.
Yes, thank you very much, Asha, for sharing your perspective. I totally agree with you that both the leadership styles are, they go hand in hand, and the shared vision, as you shared, it's definitely needs to be, looked upon. So now I'm moving to the broader perspective, where in today's fast-paced work environment, what critical skills do you see? And I will ask this question with Abhishek as well. I think he dropped from the call, but anyways, he will be joining back soon. So what critical skill do you believe are essential for middle-level leaders to thrive in today's work environment? So that my question is.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, probably in 15, 20 years of experience, right? What I always feel is middle management is arguably tougher than senior leadership roles, right? What they manage. Or even it's very tough compared to even an individual contributor role, right? And we have day-to-day evidence to prove this. Every single day we see the toil, what they go through, right? They are, according to me, I surely call them Wonder Women and Superman, right? Who can navigate the maze of the demands, the find balance among all the pressures, and meet the needs of diverse group of stakeholders. They have a huge influence and impact on the business and on people, which we should not forget, right? So a few skill sets, what I believe are extremely essential for a middle leader are, one is the middle leaders are constantly navigating changes, right? Whether it's shift in company strategy or a new challenge facing their team, being agile means they can pivot quickly, tackle new situations heads on, and guide their team through uncertain times. This ability to adopt on the fly is really the backbone of resilient middle level leadership. So, the first one I would surely tell is agility and adaptability. Moving forward, Neelam, I think middle level leaders are at that crucial point where they have to turn strategy into action. They need to understand the bigger picture, but also stay focused on delivering day to day results, as you know, right? This balancing act ensures they're driving progress in a way that's aligned with the organization, the long term goals, the short term goals, all making sure that immediate priorities get immediately done and efficiently. So for this, the middle management, another apart from being agile and adaptable, they also need to be executive focused and strategic awareness. These are something which is extremely important for them. Moving forward, middle level leaders are also at a crucial point where they have to turn strategy into action, right? So, execution focus is something which they just can't escape. So, I think, overall, there are many more, right? A middle manager probably he needs to be a mentor, or he needs to get a good mentorship, or he needs to look at, probably the work life balance of people, or he needs to be empathetic, he needs to have a good listening ears, he needs to be interested about each one of the team member, he needs to retain people, attrition management. Apart from all these things, I have put three things as the three things which are very important, which are agility, execution focus, and strategic awareness, and again execution focus. So I hope I have answered your question, Neelam.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I would definitely, take this three points which you have mentioned: agility, execution, and strategic thinking, which is absolute aligned with the today's environment, which is required for the critical skills. So as Abhishek hasn't joined back, maybe he's having some problem.
No issues.
So let me just move forward to the next question. Once he joins back, I can take the question from with him as well. So next question which I want to take is that now the Gen Z is reshaping the workplaces in many ways, and with their increasing presence, how should middle level leaders adapt their approach to team dynamics, and what changes you have seen or you would want to recommend in this scenario?
Absolutely, Neelam. The question is bang on what we are all facing today, right? You go to any corporate leader, this is a very, very important and very crucial question, right? Connecting with Gen Zs in workplace, right, often means what first understanding what is that Gen Z is expecting, right? Recognizing the values, the expectation that set them apart, right? Been working with them almost about 1 decade, right? I can see many areas which we need to be aware of, right? One is surely the purpose-driven work. Wherever I've seen a Gen Z, there is always this question, right? They truly seek meaning in what they do. They're drawn to roles generally where they feel their work contributes to a bigger picture. They want to understand not only what they're working on, but also why it matters to the company. How is it attached to the final goal of the organization? So, organizations that communicate clear purpose, something beyond just profitability, right, tend to engage their generation more effectively. That's what I've been seeing. So, a purpose driven work is something what needs to be shown to them, right? And that is how a middle level leader also need to approach the team dynamics, explaining to them why, how, right? On any work, what they're assigned. So there needs to be a purpose for every Gen Z. Moving forward, I also feel that today, if we remember our intern time, or we were interns, or we were freshers, for us, you give us 10 hours, 15 hours work, there wasn't much of dispute or issues. But today, which is extremely good and which is very positive according to me, everybody thinks about work-life balance. It can be just an intern or a fresher, right? They're very aware of importance of balance, possibly more than previous generations, as I told you, right? Gen Z, highly conscious of mental health, personal well-being, and they want to work for a company that respects these boundaries. They value flexibility, whether it's a remote work option or flexible, whichever, right, which allows them to pursue their interest, a hobby, maintain a healthy personal life along their career, right? So I think a middle-level manager needs to keep in mind while he's working or she's working with Gen Zs is a work-life balance, how they can actually give that to them. If that is kind of provided to people, I think there's a great harmony between the manager and people who are working for him. And maybe another one very important thing what I have observed in my entire career is recognition, right? Recognition, it's not necessary that it's only for Gen Z. Recognition is a common word among all levels. Everybody wants recognition. Probably somebody comes up to me and tells me you're doing a great job. That makes my day. And if I see you and tell her that you've been doing a great job, it's done her day also. So I don't really tell only for this Gen Z, but across. But we see more of it. It's very evident. They're very vocal about it, telling that we want recognition, we want growth, right? They thrive in an environment where the efforts are acknowledged consistently, not just in annual reviews, but through regular feedbacks and encouragement and spot cards and monthly, reward and recognition programs or annual reward recognition programs or FAM holidays. A lot of things are there, what companies are doing. They're looking for that kind of an environment where they can learn, grow, can be recognized for their contribution. This not only aligns with their emphasis on personal development, it also goes along as a roadmap, as a growth for them, right? It appreciate opportunities for skill building and career progression, all these things. If we want to connect meaningfully with the Gen Z employee, these factors like recognition, work-life balance, or giving a purpose to them, right, are essential in creating a workplace that they feel valued, motivated, and they can really perform much better than what we actually put the expectation across.
Okay, that's truly in lining with the thought process of what I feel or I experience, that the purpose what drives them as Gen Zs, and that what we can imbibe as a middle-level leader, and the approach we can adapt to the same scenario. So what that brings me to another question. I want to just understand your perspective, and creating a supportive and inclusive environment for more important more than ever. So thought of wanted to have your perspective. What steps can middle level leaders take to cultivate of inclusivity and belongingness in their teams?
These are very beautiful questions, Neelam. I don't know where you've surely put a lot of thoughts into it, and these are new age problems, right? And I think you surely are asking a very relevant question for today's corporate world. And for your question, a culture of inclusivity and belonging, it is surely not a destination, right? It is something, a journey. It just goes
Right.
on. You do more is less over here, according to me, especially when it comes to inclusivity, or making a person to belong to the goal or the organization. It's very difficult, and it's a slow process, and trust is something which is built very slowly, right? Mid-level leaders, again, they are the gap. They are the bridge between top management and frontline people, and they play a lot of crucial role in fostering a culture of inclusivity and belonging. And let's break down a couple of solutions here, right, for this one, because the topic itself is very deep, and it's very serious topic actually. So one of the simplest yet probably the most powerful way to promote inclusivity is lead by example, right? When I'm open to listening diverse ideas, or I value people's contribution, or I show empathy, it sets a standard in my team, right? For everybody I'm talking. It's just not about one person. When my team sees these behavior, it encourages them naturally to act similarly, making inclusivity a core part of our daily interaction or a DNA. So I believe that you'll have to probably set examples for your team. That is what the middle management has to do. So if you want your people to get accepted, or want to feel belonged, start listening to them. Start valuing their contribution. When you give a feedback, give it very constructively. Start with something what is actually good about the person, and then come to the areas where there is a skill development or where there is an improvement required. Show empathy, right? And let diverse ideas come on to the table, right? And it's great to hear ideas, and you never know, if you implement it, it can work wonders, right? This is a standard of what every middle manager has to set, so that the
Right.
team follows it, right? And moving forward, I feel encouraging open communication, one-on-one team discussions or focus group discussions, right? By fostering an environment where there is no judgment, not too much of judgment at least. Individual feels comfortable. Employee feels comfortable, empowered to speak, right? Where they can share their new ideas and also probably acknowledge mistakes, which cultivates trust and openness. So, surely encouraging open communication is something extremely important, and having skip levels, having one-on-one team discussions, these are something which is very crucial to make sure that I feel inclusive into the team, and I probably feel that I'm important and I belong to this team, right?
Right.
And celebrating diversity, recognizing and valuing diversity backgrounds by it can be celebrating cultural traditions or any kind of special days, right? It can any religion, or it can be birthdays, it can be anniversaries, or it can be very small wins, it can be even small failures, right? So that through failures we learn. So these kind of things, right? And making sure you encourage team members to share unique perspectives, creating a sense of respect with each other. Even I feel I have the respect in the team. I've seen many meetings where it is surely looks extremely odd when a person fails and the manager starts talking about it, right? And I lose my self-respect. The final thing is I need respect, right? I get money, everything, but the least what I expect from my entire team and the manager is respect. So I think celebrating, right, your failures and your success is very important. And also fostering the overall a growth mindset. So when I've always seen this, Neelam, and I have a lot of examples, right? Viewing mistakes as a failure rather than a learning opportunity is something which is not acceptable in today's culture. We require to view mistakes as learning opportunity, right? Encouraging to try new things. If you don't encourage the learnings from your failures, people just don't try new things, right? There is potential, but we can't stunt it. Or probably promoting open business, open discussions, and identify training and reduce unconscious biases, creating a more inclusive team environments, right? It can be female or male, or boxing, telling that this is only a job where a male can do or a female can do, probably those kind of barriers, right? And also maintaining transparency, right?
Absolutely.
Transparent decision and goals, helping everyone understand their role in organization, mission, and also fostering the shared sense of purpose, right? And probably also giving constructive feedbacks, as I told you. And the final one, I think supporting diverse talent through, you can support different kind of section of talent through mentorship and sponsorship. Mentorship is a very, very powerful word, which it's been underplayed many a times, right? A mentor can surely show for your growth. It can be through your growth perspective, or if you're confused or you have issues personally, a mentor can actually help you. So mentoring and sponsoring different kind of talent can be extremely useful. So with all these things, creating a workplace where everyone feels truly feels they belong and trust and feels respected is something what middle manager can surely beautifully do, because they are very close to the front line and also they have a reach to the top management. So that is where it comes from.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've mentioned that trust and transparency. Absolutely, trust and transparencies are the cornerstone for a strong team, And you also mentioned that it's a culture is a journey that which you create and you take it together. It's not that you are, there in. Welcome back, Abhishek. So we lost you somewhere.
So sorry. Actually, due to some technical issue, I could not continue, but I was listening to the conversation. Thanks a lot. Please keep continuing. I'm there now, back now with.
Yeah. So I would like to, as you were not here, so I would like to put up question for you, Abhishek. So we would like to, the question would be, as in your expertise in strength-based development will definitely brings a perspective, new unique perspectives on the conversation. So the question would be, how can understanding individual strength help middle-level leaders foster more effective team dynamics and drive overall performance?
Sure. So thanks a lot, Neelam. First of all, really, my apologies to everyone because of some technical glitch. I could not continue the live stream, but now I am back. So when we look at middle-level leadership development and when we look at strength science as a subject, So middle-level leaders, they have traveled a journey in an organization, and they, after a lot of success, failure, proving themselves again and again, they reach to middle-level leadership role, and they are the ones who are backbone. They are the ones who are bridge between strategy and the execution. So when we look at strength-based leadership, and specifically for middle-level leadership people, then in that case, what happens that the easiest data, the simplest data which is available to an organization about their middle-level leaders is what are they really good at? What are their natural talents? How they can contribute? How can they bring alignment, openness, initiative, orientation in the organization? So this is when we look at strength-based development as a subject, we are able to provide the simple data point to middle-level leadership teams about themselves, about middle-level leadership team to the organization, and when they start looking at focusing on what has worked for them in the entire journey and maximizing it more, the turnaround time of doing certain things that they are doing, it reduces. It brings a lot of certainty about a lot of things that they want to drive, and it gives them a lot of self-assurance about what they are doing. And that's how it works. That's how strength-based leadership has contributed in the development and growth path of a middle-level leadership team member in an organization.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your perspective, Abhishek, and definitely openness and alignment to what you have, shared with us is definitely brings very good alignment with the team. So now that brings me to another question: what strategies can middle-level leaders implement to foster these qualities in new age leadership? Anyone can choose to answer. Abhishek and Asha.
Asha is a subject matter expert, and she's.
Sorry, I was not. I couldn't hear it. I think I lost you.
Okay, so the question is, what strategies can middle-level leaders implement to foster these qualities in new age leadership, like trust and transparencies, to build a strong team?
Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
In fact, I've spoken so much, Abhishek. I will surely take this question, but I kind of started stretching the answers because, you had not come. But I will try to answer this quickly. Let me, I have this usual habit of 1, 2, 3. Let me just quickly take this 3 simple things which can be game changer here, right? Communication, integrity, and employee empowerment, right? Encourage open communication and feedbacks, frequent check-ins, focus group meets, regular address in form of town hall, brown bags, right? Or ask me anything, regular constructive feedbacks, hear team members' insights and ideas, and but these are few things which actually help a lot, in fact. And creating safe space to allow voices and opinions to be heard without judgment. This is something, Neelam, which has to be probably very seriously adopted in every organization, because once an opinion is voiced, there should not be come back from the managers or somebody else, right? So psychological safety like this encourages people to be open, actually, which strengthens the trust and also an honest dialogue. And there can be also some people are not very comfortable opening up about the feedback, right? So you can also look at an anonymous feedback channel for these people, right? So maybe these are few things which I was thinking actually, or promote and practice accountability, right? Where you set clear expectations, own mistakes, and celebrate success. Encourage a growth mindset. Probably cultivate these environments that can have collaboration, integrity, and mutual respect. So these are few things which I feel probably will help.
Sure. Abhishek, I would like to hear your perspective as well.
Sure, thanks a lot, Asha. So I completely agree with Asha's point of view, and also I would like to add, in addition to what Asha just shared with all of us. So one is that ability to provide role clarity to each and every team member. You look at a lot of people, and when we study a lot of teams, within various organizations, and the most efficient teams and leaders are those leaders who focus on providing absolute clarity about what they expect from their team member. If you look at not only in corporate world, but if you look at also in sports. So just, let me take you back to some of the successful cricket teams in India. So let's say Chennai Super Kings, or let's say you talk about any international football team, which is very successful, or you talk about certain athletes with whom we got a chance to work with. What they focus on is building absolutely clarity in their team members. And in addition to what Asha shared, I think these are very valuable points. I would just like to add the element of role clarity. The one skill, one capability which people can develop is like, communicating, giving them clarity about role. Because the assumption is that everyone comes to office to succeed. No one comes to office to fail. So many times what happens, people have knowledge, skills, but they are not very clear about what is expected out of them. So once that is there, then a lot of things can be taken care of. So this is again, not just delegating, but giving them complete clarity. And when we do organizational diagnostic, we give this question: do you have clarity about your role as first priority? So organizations who have clarity, where people have clarity about what is expected out of them, and their managers are really good at that, their chances of outperforming organizations who do not have this culture of providing role clarity to people are higher. So that's how this entire thing works. And then, of course, I give a really important weightage to feedback. And like Asha mentioned about providing a safe environment, listening to people without being judgmental about their thoughts, allowing to give them just, do they think they're, when they talk to them, when we talk to them, do you allow them opportunities where someone is listening to them without just, concluding it, without just making an action plan, without just, calling it a quarterly review. So if that is there, then, it really makes sense. So yeah, so this.
Yeah. So thank you, Abhishek and Asha, sharing your perspective. I really, this absolutely resonate with me as well. Like voicing their opinion, it needs to be the safe environment and second, the clarity of roles and fostering accountability of the roles they've been given. So that fostering also needs to be required. That brings me to to another question that. How can middle-level leaders balance these priorities and nurture individual career aspiration? And Asha, if you would like to go. Am I not audible?
Yeah, audible. No.
Yes. Asha, would you like to take this question? How can a middle-level leaders balance these priorities and nurture individual career aspiration, aligning goals with the broader organizational objectives?
I'm not able to hear.
Okay.
So what Neelam is asking, Asha, is she's saying that how can middle-level leaders help individual career aspirations within the organization? How can they help their team members build their career aspiration?
No, Neelam, I'm not able to hear you. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, just the question is, how can middle-level leaders balance these priorities and nurture individual career aspiration within the organization? Am I audible to you, Asha?
No, I'm not able to hear.
Okay.
Am I audible to you, Asha? Can you hear me?
I think
Neelam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Abhishek. You can go ahead.
So let me take this up.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say when we talk about individual career aspirations, so many times what happens, we see middle-level leaders do very good job when it comes to business goal setting, and they are really, really good at it because that's something which they have mastered on, and they've been trained very, very nicely about it. But many times, what is the missing link is how do I bridge a gap between and how do I connect individuals' career aspiration as well as the career aspiration and the aspiration that I have and the expectation that I have from the managers. So this is a missing link. So let's say if I'm reporting to you, Neelam, so while working with you and you are a middle-level leader in the organization, so while working with you, you will have very good, provide me very good clarity about what is expected out of me at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year. But what is also very important to link it with my career aspiration and have an action plan for both. So for example, let's say while we work with an organization, it's very clear that if I need to deliver this, these are the skills that I require. But let's say if I need to, so therefore that path is really there. There is a learning and organization development department in every organization. There is a support system which is available. But at the same time, what is my personal career aspirations? And is my learning and development path, is my career path, the initiatives that have been planned for me, are they also included in that? So do I have that clarity about, okay, so that's something which I'm going to do, deliver in business outcomes. This is my career aspiration. If these two are linked, and this linkage is done by not by HR, because HR in every organization does create policies, processes, and helps managers to do that. But as a manager, because I work with my team members on a daily basis, regular basis, so am I able to do that? Am I able to establish that link between individual team members' career aspiration and the business expectation that we have? Once this is done, and is there an action plan ready for that? Is my career development plan ready accordingly? Is it prepared accordingly? Are there initiatives planned in the organization accordingly? So if that is the case, then it's that's how I can help my individual team members fulfill their career aspirations. Yeah.
Thank you, Abhishek. So that absolutely, I align with what you shared right now. So Asha is also here. Asha, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So we were talking that aligning team goals with the broader organizational objectives can be challenging, and Abhishek has shared his perspective. So I would like to take this question with you as well. How can middle-level leaders balance these priorities and nurture individual career aspiration?
Okay, one is probably understand the organization big picture, right? The middle level need to have an understanding of organization strategic goal, objectives, and how it needs to be broken down, and how it has to get into the execution mode, right? Once they are aware of this, it is very easy for them to bridge this, right? They can go back to their team and they can communicate clearly so that there are no iterations, right? And also translating the high level goals into team objectives. It can be the OKRs, what we do, quarterly OKRs, or our AOPs, or it can be the yearly, the entire goal sheet, what we do. So these are few things what they can do, and also they can look at encourage employees to set personal development goals also, where they can create individual development plans, which we do very strongly at Subex, which are called IDPs, right? Career development plans. So this can be these can be supported, and we can identify projects, training, or cross-functional work that advances both personal growth and team contribution. This is something which the middle management can actually very clearly do it, right? And giving a transparent communication and good feedback. It can be either to the front line or to the top management, both sides, right? Being a proper bridge between these two people, right? And also making sure that there is a good empowerment and there is a good ownership, right? Making sure that they have good empowerment and also they have the ownership, so they can align the other individuals, right? And they make sure that individual career goals and organization objectives can increase that motivation and accountability. So these are few things which they can surely make sure that they can do and adapt and remain agile, right? And mentorship. With all this balancing act, the middle level leaders can create an environment where individuals and organization enhance each other, right? And fostering a productive and a good workforce. But it's not that easy as we are all talking, right? Because we know the real time problem. So probably not so many things, but at least one or two things, as I told previously, making sure that they adapt a clear communication, and they also make sure that every day is a learning day for them, that not stop upgrading themselves. So these are few things which you can at least start off, and it's very crucial and a very difficult role for a middle manager. And we have seen and we've been through that, and it is not because ultimately there is not too much of power, but there is too much of work, right? So we need to look at that balance, and we need to have that empathy towards them, and I think there should be a lot of focus on these people.
Right. Yes, thank you for sharing your perspective. And so even what we shared is aligning their goals and aspiring them, taking care of their individual career aspiration. We still face some challenges where talent retention becomes the big focus in this competitive market. So what challenges do middle level leaders face when trying to retain the top talent, and what strategies can help them tackle these challenges effectively?
So
anyone can choose to answer.
Asha.
I think Asha, you just started. Please, please give me the floor.
So one is for sure, Neelam, what I understand from talent retention, right? One is they do not have power, first of all, on changing policies, or maybe going and getting the required need for the retention. So they need to be empowered over there. One thing is they can surely give very good roadmap for the employees, whoever are working under them, right? One can be mentorship, or probably a focused kind of a work area where they feel the employees feel happy to work there, right? And not necessarily it ends always with a hike or other things or a promotion. There are many more things which actually can be adopted, and also make sure that there is a good way of also retaining them with the kind of hikes what they're expecting, and a meritocracy based. Ultimately, it is a meritocracy based, and also giving them a very clear goal. As I told you, right? I don't know, being myself making myself repetitive over here, but making sure that there is a goal for a person to achieve, right? The purpose goes beyond the money or anything else or a promotion, right? When I have a goal, I'm more excited. And also as the industry is so dynamic, right? Upgrading, right? Learning, relearning, and also unlearning is something very important. So making sure that they are able to adapt to this, right? And another couple of things are being extremely empathetic, right? Empathetic is it can be sometimes situational. You cannot be as a manager, because you also need to look at the organization needs, and you can't always be an empathetic manager, right? A person can tell, I just can't come to office, but probably there is a requirement in the office for the person to be physically available. So being very empathetic, where it is required, and also making sure that you are also safeguarding organization requirement. So it's very tricky, as I told you, right? And also giving a work-life balance to people who are working, right? Or maybe a bit of flexibility on the timing or on the deadlines or timelines, right? That is also. And being a good listener, right? It is extremely important. If I'm not heard, I feel I'm not respected. So these are few things which actually matters to make sure that it's a congenial environment for a person to work, right? And there is very, very good market outside, and everybody is out there for 50%, 60%, those kind of hikes. But how do you retain a person? A good environment and a good work, right? And also the skill set, upgrading of the skill set. These are few things where a middle manager can actually strive on to make sure that they can retain people. And there are 100 things what I've told, probably one or two things, right? If I am getting graded, I feel very valued, if I'm respected, if my ideas are given a chance to be heard and implemented,
Right.
I'm very happy to stay in that environment. So these are few things, Neelam. There is no one single a guide to this. It's getting invented every day. So these are few things what I feel.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Abhishek, your quick perspective of yours.
Sure, thanks a lot, Neelam. So thanks. I completely agree with the points shared by Asha, but I'd like to just quickly add and share my perspective. So first of all, let's say if I'm a middle manager, I have, let's say, 100 people in my overall team. Let's say there are some people who are reporting to me. I always have performance data about my team members, but do I have any other sort of insight about what my team members are, like any behavioral inputs that I have about them? So let's say if I have some metrics through which I can divide my team and I can understand different human beings working in my team, and from the perspective of not me knowing about who they are and how they are performing, from the perspective of what their needs are. So what could be their developmental needs are? What could be their safety needs are? What could be their psychological needs are? So do I have some behavioral data point available about my team member? Once I have that, my ability to take specific actions increases. Then I know that these are individuals who are like high performers, and also behaviorally they are doing really, really well. There are no challenges that I have, and I have some data points about it. So my action plan will be different for them. There are certain individuals who are performing well, but they are not, their skill and attitude is not that great. There is something wrong there. Maybe they need some support there. So once I have that, I can tackle talent retention a little bit by using that. I mean, I know that talent retention is a big problem for a middle level leader, and they are not empowered to take a lot of policy level decisions to change that. But these are certain things, if I can do that, it will help me approach the challenges of talent retention in a very structured manner. So if I will put some method in the madness that I'm going through on a regular basis, and my initiative, I can then plan my initiatives accordingly and channelize my energy that, these are the set of people, this is the behavioral data and performance data available about these individuals. This action can be taken for them. This is what can be done for other set of people. So likewise, I will know that, who are those critical employees in my team? I must retain them. Who are certain employees in my team who I need to suggest for a development action plan? Who are certain employees in my team who are perhaps not enjoying this role that much? I can reach out to talk to them, set their career aspiration correctly, talk to my HR internally, and say that, why can't we look at some other role for them within the organization? And that's how I would like to tackle this challenge of talent retention. So thanks.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of this session. I would like to extend my gratitude and thank you to Abhishek and Asha for your valuable insight and practical advice as well. And thank you to our audience as well for tuning in. We hope you found this session helpful and that you have gained actionable takeaways to apply to your leadership journey. Be sure to follow Strength Masters, as such discussions on leadership will be happening, and we'll be hosting more LinkedIn live sessions. If you have any questions, please reach out to us on LinkedIn and drop an email to neelam@strengthmasters.com. Thank you all, and we conclude today's discussion. Have a great evening. Thank you, Asha, and thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Neelam. Thanks a lot, Asha. Thank you, everyone.